Hey guys, it is Wingy here and welcome to a brand new video on my channel. Now, you may remember quite a while ago now in my Why You Should Watch series, I did a video talking about the anime series Attack on Titan. And in that video, I more or less just, well, it's not just me, it's me and my partner, but we speak about pretty much just season one, because at that point that's all I'd seen. But I was so excited about the show, I was like, well, I just have to talk about it now. You know, it's a different topic for me to talk about on my channel. It's something that I'm interested in currently, and I think you guys should check it out. So I made that video. For me, that was just like, yeah, okay, cool, I've spoken about it now. Little did I know that Attack on Titan would become so much more than what it is in season one. And what this video is going to be is not necessarily why you should watch, but why this show has just massively surprised me and is now probably one of my favourite shows that I look forward to watch every single week. Just as a quick recap, for those of you who don't know, Attack on Titan, like I say, is an anime series which starts off with this character Eren, and him and pretty much a lot of other people, they live inside these walls to protect them from titans. Except one day, a big colossal titan comes in, breaks the wall, and then all the titans get in, and it's just like humanity struggle to fight against the titans. Or at least that's how it starts off. My god, does this show go places. And the thing is, I don't really want to go into spoiler territory because one, the show or the manga hasn't even finished at the time of recording yet, and I'm only partially through season 4, like I've not caught up with everything yet. So what I'm going to talk about is mostly going to involve seasons 1, 2 and 3 with only a little bit of 4. But if you haven't seen this show, then absolutely go and check it out and just don't watch the rest of this video. Come back after, because you just need to see it and go in blind. What I really love about Attack on Titan is it's not the show that you think it's going to be. And it's not a show that is simply like, okay, so there's these big human-like titan creatures that we have to fight against. What I really like is the fact that this show, with hindsight, having known everything that comes subsequently, or not everything, but most things, all the breadcrumbs for what this series is actually about are there, but you just don't pick up on it. The way that this is written is genius, because it could easily just be humanity has to take back society from monsters, and it could just be as straightforward as that. But with this, it's so much deeper. Another thing that I love is this show is not afraid to be utterly ruthless and brutal. Throughout the course of the entire series, like, don't get attached to many people, because chances are they're not going to make it to the end of the series. Whether it's major characters, whether it's side characters that are set up to potentially be major characters, like, they can be gone in a flash. And I think as well, it's a really creepy show in places. The Titans themselves are big, almost baby-like humans in shape that are going to eat you because you're a human. That's what they're after. Now, of course, at the start of the series and for a while, you don't actually know why or what Titans actually are, but that is something that is explored later on. And some of the moments with the Titans are truly terrifying. Like, the way that they look, like the detail in the eyes are incredible. Like, they are so creepy and intense at times, to the point where, even though it's essentially a cartoon, it's really unsettling. The way that they will eat people, the way that they will just spring out of nowhere, the way that they will slowly lumber towards you and pick you up and just devour people. Some of them can run, others can like jump really far, some of them just look horrendous, some of them are really tall, some of them are quite small. It's just, there's a variety of Titans out there, and I think that's one of the great things about this show. Like, when you think that, oh, what more can Titans offer? Oh fuck, okay, a lot more. Let's talk about the plot for a little bit and some of the characters. Now, like I said, I don't really want to give too much away, because it's a show that I feel you need to go into blind. As I mentioned before, I haven't seen everything yet. I'm only partially through the final 4th season. But even up to this point, I feel like there's a grasp of where this series is going to go. And it's the character development and the plot developments where you realise that what this actually is at the beginning is you're given a couple of pieces to the jigsaw. For most people, the images on these pieces is fine, but the more that you add more and more pieces, the bigger the picture becomes, and then you think, actually, certain things aren't as they seem. Certain characters aren't who I thought they were, and are in fact just total opposites to that. Like I say, some characters are set up to be main characters, and they just aren't, because they're killed off within a couple of episodes. And the world of the walls, the world of the Titans, the world of Titan shifters, which is another thing, like, the more and more you learn about the stuff, the more and more you realise that this series is just so rich with plot. And it's not one of those series where there's a few plot conveniences to get to where you need to go. Everything seems to just fall into place naturally. None of it seems like, oh, that's really stupid. It's all just like, oh fuck yeah, that makes sense now. Whether it's to do with even stuff like bloodlines, like even little moments in episodes that you think mean fuck all, even in some of the like slower episodes, arguably filler episodes where things are a bit slow, the key is in the detail, and there's little details in every single episode. Whether it's something that you think is insignificant, it probably isn't, because the more you think about it, even if it's not like a major plot thread, for example. A key example of this in terms of something that is a little bit insignificant. So in, I think, season 3, they return to the very first city that was destroyed by the Titans, which is where Eren, our protagonist, that's where he's from. And so they go back there because they want to retake it, and they want to, you know, seal up the wall again so they can stop Titans coming through and hopefully have people living there again. And when they first arrive, they are well aware that the enemies are going to be there. Not just Titans, because Titans aren't the only villains here, if they're even villains at all. That's how deep this series is, honestly. Like, you don't know who's good and who's bad. It's fucking awesome. But when they first go there, they discover a coffee pot. They don't obviously know that because their technology is so primitive, but coffee isn't something that is easily accessible on that type of island. So it makes you think, where are these people actually from then? Because if the rest of humanity is wiped out and they're trying to survive behind these walls, how have some people got coffee? And it's things like that where it's like, oh fuck. But like I say, you as the viewer, you probably wouldn't even think of that. But even in the opening credits, there's a close-up of this coffee pot or coffee maker, whatever it is. And again, it doesn't register with your brain. But when you think about it, and the more and more you learn the truth, you're just sort of like, oh, that must mean then, whoa. And it's these sort of revelations that really hook you into this series. Now, I will say there are, as I kind of mentioned before, there are filler episodes. There are episodes that aren't as good in terms of like, they're a little bit dull. But having said that, the details are still crucial in there. Not all of them. Sometimes they pay off less than others. There's a character called Ymir, for example, who is with like the main characters for a bit, and she has like this really close bond with this other character, and I feel like her story arc really went nowhere, and it kind of felt like the story was just like, not really much else we can do with her now, so it's just, let's just get rid of her really stupidly. Well, not even stupidly, it's believable and it makes sense for the plot, but it's kind of like, she probably deserved better than that. But the thing is, even with those episodes, those not as action-packed, not as exciting, not full of revelations, with hindsight you look back and you think, oh actually that was significant, that was a big moment, but you just don't realise it. And that's the genius of a series like this, and the fact that I don't think you can really predict where this series is going to go. It seems like I mentioned before with the jigsaw analogy, it looks like one thing, but the more and more you add pieces, the bigger the picture gets, and sometimes the image will totally change. So for example, in the 4th season, there's a time jump, and the focus is on characters that you wouldn't necessarily expect, including new characters, and then you realise like, ah, that's where we're going with it now. It is just written so cleverly. Like, it is such a well-written show. Like, it's not flawless, I wouldn't say, but it's practically. I think regardless of what you want to watch Attack on Titan for, there is something there for everybody. Like, if you want the sort of exciting, gory moments, oh yeah, it's fucking full of them. If you're after characters who are likable and relatable, they're definitely here as well. If you want a plot that will keep you guessing, this is here as well. If you want almost like superhero stuff where people can transform into like these big powerful creatures, that's in here. I wouldn't necessarily say that Attack on Titan is one type of show, it's several types of shows, but it manages to balance all these different things incredibly well. And the characters, I just think are fucking awesome. Like, Captain Levi is overpowered to shit, like to the point where he's too overpowered, but he's just fucking awesome and he is so badass. Eren starts out as a whiny little bitch. I mean, his mum dies fairly early on, so you can understand why, but he as a character just grows massively. Armin was a character that I thought again was kind of like a whingy whiny bastard, but now I really like him, and he's actually one of the more level-headed, just brilliant characters in the show. There's a character called Reiner as well, who at first is sort of a nothing character. Something quite significant happens with him partway through the 2nd season, and by the time of the 4th season, I'm like, you're probably my favourite character. But there's periods where you'll love some of the characters, and then the next episode or the next season, you're gonna hate them. and then you'll revert to loving him again. It's just awesome. Like I said, I'm sorry that I didn't really go into too much detail about things because obviously I don't want spoilers myself and I don't want spoilers for you guys, but I just had to expand on Attack on Titan a bit because I don't think that I had the full picture when I did my previous video about it. And like I say, I just want to expand on it a little bit because you should fucking watch it. It is incredible. Go and check it out. In the comments below though, guys, let me know what you think. Attack on Titan, have you seen it? Have you not? Whatever it is, let me know down below. Also, we do have some copies of the manga, so should I read it and review it? Or review it season by season, or just, I don't know, do more Attack on Titan related content? If you want to see that, also let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe for more. Social media and Patreon links will be in the description, as always. So if you'd follow me on any of those things, I'd absolutely love you forever. But, till next time guys, you take care of yourselves. Goodbye. And as I say, I haven't seen or read any of it yet. Well, no, I have. That's a stupid comment.